Hey everyone, here's a demo on how Mazure can help you mock out Azure API calls from your tests. Notice here that when we actually query for the list of storage accounts under our subscription, we see that there are close to 6 or 7 accounts out here. That is the response that is being provided by the Azure SDK, which means the Azure SDK is actually going and querying the number of, or rather it's querying the details of all the storage accounts within our subscription, and this is the live Azure account detail that is being relayed back to us. When running a test, this is not of much use. We would like to have this mocked out. To do so, let's try to mock these responses using a library called Mazure. Mazure comes with 2 modes of operation. For this demo, we will use the context manager mode of operation. And this now allows us to use the same client object, but under a mocking scheme, which means that we can now see if the response varies in any way or form. So let's get back to and as we can see, there is no storage accounts being returned at all, and this is totally expected, because when running Mazure, we are essentially mocking out all the calls at the HTTP level. This means that the calls to query all the storage accounts within our subscription are actually not going and meeting the Azure REST API endpoints. Instead, we query a local data store and we return all the storage accounts that are presently available. So at this point, this is totally expected, as there are no storage accounts that have been registered at all. But what if we actually try and create a storage account now? How would that alter the response? So let's try and create a storage account. Now we will again, when creating a storage account, we will of course use the same client object, and we use the same properties that are exposed by the Azure SDK, but we will do it with the Mazure context manager. So we know that to begin with, accounts is empty. We will try and create something first. Now, when creating a storage account, Azure SDK essentially expects a list of parameters that you need to pass in order to have the accounts created. So this means that we will need to pass some details about the storage account properties. These are of course wrapped under an instance of the storage account create parameter object, and for the purpose of the demo, these set of information, these basic set of information should be more than sufficient. Let's go with a blob storage, and let's revert to a default location of East US. Now let's actually try to create an account. Now let's actually try what does the account hold. And as we see, we have now created one storage account, and when we query for all the storage accounts under the subscription, we see that instead of returning an empty list, we are now being returned a list with one entry in it. So that essentially signifies that our create operation went through, and the subsequent query is also happening under the mocking scheme, and that is how Mazure allows you to mock out your Azure API calls. To learn more about the project, visit the project homepage at github.com/tinman/Mazure. Thanks.